Hey guys, it's your old pal Sleepy. I have just left probably the nicest comic book shop in the greater area that I live in. Unfortunately, it's very far from my house. There's no way I could ever get to it except on the weekends, and even then, I usually can't get away from my family. But but I could this weekend, and the reason why I say that is since it's my favorite shop. It's sad that I can't. That I can't make it my regular shop. But there's no way I could get my pull list from there more than like twice a month. So instead I go to a shop I don't like quite so much. One of the amazing things about this shop is it has a huge number of 50-cent long boxes. And what was I going to say? And the closest thing to that in any other shop around here is a dollar bins, and the place that has dollar bins has maybe $10 bins. This place has 70. I counted them this time, or counted roughly $70 bins. I mean 50-cent bins. And I've heard people talk about 25-cent bins. I've never seen that anywhere in my area. So I just spent an hour getting absorbed, or more than an hour, searching through those. But I was limiting my spending to under $20, and I managed to cut myself off at $16. But I'm very happy with what I got. It's kind of scary looking through those and seeing comics that maybe no one wants ever anymore. I mean, I'm not totally sure. Like Jackie Chan comics. Well, maybe someone would want those, but there's other things that are just really just sort of obscure small press things that it's hard to imagine. And there are things in there that used to be really popular that there are just tons and tons of that no one wants. Valiant Comics is a big example. Solar, Man of the Atom, Magnus, Robot Fighter. Even though those comics are now coming back. So, this might be kind of jumbled. One of the things I found was 4 issues of Night Force, which I once owned, all of the issues of Night Force, but 60-cent cover price, so I got them cheaper than their original cost. This was a series by Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan when they both came over from Marvel too. This one is even in Mylar. That's amazing. That's nice though. Maybe I can test to see whether the ones in Mylar are in better shape or smell better than the ones in the propylethylene or whatever it is. So I've got 5, 9, 10. I know somewhere in here I think I bought a one more. Oh, here it is. And number 3. I definitely remember having these and really liking them. They weren't as good as Colan and Wolfman's Tomb of Dracula run, or at least they didn't seem that way to me then. But it was really exciting to have this team back together, handling horror. Here's some other kind of random things which I had good memories of in the past. This must have been from the early 80s. When First Comics first started up, one of their earliest comic series was Warp, which was based on like a wild and crazy science fiction play that they turned into a comic book with art by Frank Brenner. I don't know if he did the whole run or just the covers after a while. This one's in Mylar also. But they were really cool at the time. Seemed really cool to me at the time, so we'll see. I've got issues 7 and 8. And I definitely recognize this cover. I had that. I think I had those starting with number 1. Again, lost forever. This is something from Deluxe Comics called Wally Wood's Thunder Agents. It's not Thunder Agents by Wally Wood. This is number 4. But it does have like Steve Ditko doing the Thunder Agents. Some other interesting artists, George Perez. I wonder when this came out. Who else have we got here? Rich Buckler. So it's interesting. I as soon as I saw the Steve Ditko, I had to pick it up. This was published in 1986. So part of that mid-80s sort of blossoming of independent publishers. Someone must have got the rights to Wally Wood's Thunder Agents and published these for a while. And here's something I've been seeing other people get and been very jealous of, and I was excited that I found a bunch of these issues still in their original plastic wrap with the trading cards inside of them. Topps Comics, right at the end of Jack Kirby's life, did a series of Jack Kirby comics. I think he might have even died while these were coming out. So they were based on his ideas done by other people. Some of them have covers by him. This cover is not by him. Anyway, it's just kind of fun just because I'm a Jack Kirby memorabilia collector. So this is Jack Kirby's Secret City Saga number 2. Jack Kirby's Secret City Saga number 1. That looks like a Steve Ditko cover. Yes, it is. Okay, so that makes it kind of cool in my eyes. Anyway, more of those will come up here in this stack. Again, something I had and lost. I don't know if I ever had all the issues. They were hard to find and they came out irregularly. Alan Moore and Rick Veitch did this weird series called 1963, which was basically their homage to Stan Lee Jack Kirby comics in their weird, bizarre way. So this one says it's book 1, but I don't know. They all had all these different titles and numberings. Mystery Incorporated book 1, and there's another one of them somewhere in here. Then this is, I believe, a reprint issue of Star Reach, which I think came out in the 70s, was an early ground level, which at the time meant an independently published book that was a bit more adult than regular comic books, but not an underground, naughty kind of comic. And Star Reach, I think, had a science fiction. We've got Neil Adams, Frank Shirakuro in here, Jim Starlin, Dave Sim, so that'll be fun to read. Some beat-up old copies of DC Tarzans that some of these are by Joe Kubert, and some of these by George Jose Garcia Lopez, or however you say his name, an excellent artist, often goes unnoticed from the Bronze Age of DC. So I didn't even know he had drawn Tarzan for a while, but it's sweet stuff. It'd be nice if it were reprinted on high quality paper. Some other Jack Kirby oddities. Another one of those mid-'80s small press or smaller comic book companies, Pacific Comics, published a bunch of Jack Kirby, including Silver Star, and I got 3 issues of that. That was before 1, 2, and 4 is what I've got here. I think there's a nice reprint book of these put out by, I want to say by Two Morrows, but maybe not, but by someone. And then, here's another Kirby one. This one has a cover by Kirby, inked by McFarlane. McFarlane, so that seems pretty unusual to me. Satan's 6. Also at the top says Super Deluxe Kirby Chrome trading card inside, and I've got the trading card. Woohoo! I have always loved Elric, and Elric, the guy with the sword Stormbringer, originally written in a series of novels and short stories by Michael Moorcock, has been appearing on and off in comics since the early 70s. And I didn't know there was a version of it published by Topps with art by P. Craig Russell. I'm not sure who did the adaptations. So that is issue 7. Issue 2, these covers are wonderful. Issue 3. And then I don't know if this is a different Topps series or the same one. It says Stormbringer Elric issue 1. So I don't know if I got issue 1 of the same series or a different one. But this is really good P. Craig Russell art. So I was really thrilled to have stumbled across it. Had no idea that there was that. A while ago I got Magnus Robot Fighter vs. Nexus issue number 1, and here is issue number 2. I don't know how long the series was. I assume it was a mini-series. I don't assume it'll be great, except for the art. Here's another one of that 1963 series. it says it's book 6. It's called the Tomorrow Syndicate. So each one was like a single issue of a Kirby Lee-like comic book that was supposed to take place in 1963, but there was some kind of through line that went through all of them. Picked up Marvel Fanfare number 17. People pulled up right next to me. I feel a little embarrassed. Marvel Fanfare number 5. Another Kirby Chrome Tops. This is definitely a Kirby cover. It even has his signature in big. Night Glider. It looks like it's going to be drawn on the inside by Don Heck, so that'll be a bit interesting. Again, with the card never unwrapped. I think those came out in the 90s or the early 2000s. The 90s, probably. Just so much stuff from the 90s lying around, and some of it interesting, and a lot of it crap. Okay, and then back, probably my target era for buying cheap old comics is the 80s, and back, I believe in the 80s, 1984, as an experiment, they were experimenting with all kinds of things then as the direct market, the comic book store market opened up, and you didn't just have to do newsstands. So this was kind of a more expensive comic that was written by Don McGregor and drawn by Gene Colan, and they just reproduced Gene Colan's pencils, which is very exciting to me, because Gene Colan's pencils were famous for being these beautiful shaded things that they couldn't reproduce and that inkers had to reduce to just black and white. So I'm really excited to find this. I did not buy these when they originally came out. So I've got number 1, number 2, 3, and 4. The covers do look like they're inked, but I know the interiors are not. Yeah, these covers are inked by Dick Giordano and look nice. If anyone were to ink Gene Colan, Giordano seems like a good choice to me. Although Etonic 1 has proven pretty convincingly in one of his videos that the best inker for him was Tom Palmer. I'm a little bit of trepidation because Don McGregor, in my memory, was the ultimate overwriter of sort of decadent 70s style of writing. So I don't know what he was doing by 1984. You'd think in a series about a hard-boiled detective, maybe his overwriting will be toned down a little bit. Another Topps Jack Kirby book, number 3 of 3, which Jack Kirby's Teen Agents, not a cover by Jack Kirby. I can't make out the signature of the artist on the cover. Again, with the card intact, never opened. At one point, someone was trying to sell it for $3. It was a $2.95 book. It says it is written by Kurt Busiek, so that's also interesting. And last but not least, a Jim Starlin book that I never heard of or have completely forgotten, from Pacific Comics from that 80s era, called Darklawn the Mystic, written and drawn by Jim Starlin. So I don't know anything about this. I don't know how long it went on for. It's a very thick, meaty book. 47 pages of comics in here. If I'm lucky, it's a one-and-done story. But it looks like Starlin was experimenting with his art style and everything, so this is something I'm really looking forward to. So it's pretty amazing what I got for $16. And it definitely, it's sobering looking at those huge numbers of comics that for 50 cents no one's buying. I mean, I was the only one in the store. I was in the store for over an hour. Only one in the store who was really digging through those boxes. Other people came and went, doing other things, buying other stuff. So, if I lived near this store, I think the urge to just buy back issues and cheap back issues and buy less new stuff would become stronger. I mean, I have that urge every now and then, although I still find it, especially because of YouTube and the dialogue a lot of us have here, find it exciting to keep up with what's new. But the cost differential is staggering. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.